Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's your boy, attaboy. It's Alex Koons. We're still in San Diego. We were lucky enough to sit down with the owners of TNT, Joseph and Kevin. Kevin has 18 plus years in the pizza industry. He got laid off his job during the pandemic for 6 weeks and started tinkering around with his own style of pizza. His wife reached out to then friend Joseph and asked, hey, why don't you come over here, work with Kevin, get crazy and open up TNT, thick and thin, just like brothers. We talk a lot about partnership and the struggles of maybe compromise, really the origin story and how they got into this sweet space in downtown San Diego. You hear a lot of people on this podcast who talk about, oh, it's $250,000. But this is a great example of getting into a brick and mortar for a lot less than you think you could. And the spot does not look like any corners were cut. I hadn't eaten when we got there. I smashed 2 incredible slices. The cheese slice was perfect. The dough was so thin, so crispy, so airy. And then I had their vegan pickle slice, which blew my mind. They even cooked us a tavern pie, which we ate there. There was a lot of pizza eaten. Shit was fire. As Matt, my partner here, the man behind the cam, said, sauce is banging. And it was. It was banging. The whole experience was banging. We were outside of TNT, so let's just say the block was hot. You know what I'm saying? We had garbage trucks, police trucks, fire trucks, ambulances. It was a lot going on, but it was a great conversation. Before I forget, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit us with a review on Apple Podcasts and hit us with the 5-star on Spotify. It helps us, helps the pod. We appreciate it. It's cool for me too, because working in a pizzeria, you always, for as long as you have, you think like, what's going to be my big break? How am I going to find my way into my own situation? And you can see their journey, how they got there and where it's going. And it's hard work, it's talent, and it's perseverance. This pod was fantastic. I appreciate your guys' time. Joseph, Kevin, love you dudes. Your hospitality was out of this world. Rock and roll, guided by voices, Big Star, Soundgarden, and I'm pretty sure Joseph said Hootie and the Blowfish. It's not one we haven't heard before. Dolphins Make Me Cry. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Prince, When Doves Cry. All right. Rock and roll. Hope you enjoy. Kevin, Joseph, you guys both from San Diego?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long have you guys known each other?
Since probably, 2004? No, 2005
right.
or 2006.
That sounds about right.
How'd you dudes meet?
So I worked at a pizza shop.
No.
No, I did, in 2004. And I was living in San Marcos, which is North County, San Diego. And I was living in like it wasn't a frat house, but it was all with fraternity members.
It was a trap house.
Yeah, and they were all just shitheads. And another person working at the pizza shop was like, hey, why are you living up there? Like, there's cool people down here. You want to live with my friend Lucy? She's looking for a roommate. So then I moved in with Lucy, who ended up being Joseph's sister. And then that's how I met Joseph. He used to work at Nordstrom, and he used to be like real handsome. And he would come and come over wearing like suits and stuff. I was like, that's weird.
Were you selling shoes or?
Women's handbags.
Oh, hell yeah. Like high-end shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a good day.
Yeah.
You know that Coach and Dooney and Burke paid the bills.
Yeah. And then he started working at the pizza shop too. And,
What pizza shop was it?
Pizzeria Luigi.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
There's like 4 of those now, right?
4 now. Yeah.
And did you work there for like 18 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I worked for, I started making pizza, 2001? He had a shop in Poway. So that's where I started.
Uh-huh.
But he sold that. I actually got fired from Coney. That was Coney Island Pizza, which now has changed ownership a million times. But he was busy opening his Golden Hill shop, not working in Poway. I was kind of working his shifts as a 17-year-old kid. Maybe I was 18 then, something like that. And I was working like 70 hours a week during the summer. And his partner fired me because I was like 20 minutes late one day. So I called him like, Lou, I just got fired. And he's like, you want to come work for me? So I got fired from his shop. And then the same day I worked like 9 hours at his shop he just opened
So
up.
what? He was a partner at Coney, and then Luigi's was like his main thing.
Yeah.
And that was it. Was that location in the first original one in North Park?
Golden Hill.
Golden Hill.
Yeah. This right up the hill. It's.
Is that anywhere? What's that big hotel that like? Yeah. Is it by there? Is that by Golden Hill?
The
His
North
new
Park
one.
one is.
That's a newer one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that one opened 2009. His first one opened 2004.
Okay. Well, that's all right. That's the one I knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you worked there for 18 years?
Yeah, all of them, except for the new Ocean Beach location. I worked in Imperial Beach too. I was like the regional manager, drive around guy.
Yeah. This is kind of a case of the pandemic, right? Do we have a pandemic story here?
Yes.
Did you get laid off? Did you
No.
quit? What happened?
So, pandemic hit.
Did you say fuck you, Luigi?
No, but
Shoulda.
we don't know. Basically, there was a 6 week. I got laid off for 6 weeks, kind of, and then I got unemployment, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was very good at making high volume, 58% hydration New York pizza. That's all they did, and I was like, "This is the best pizza." I went to New York a bunch of times. I was like, "It's just as good here," And then got laid off, and for 6 weeks was gonna come back. Still ended up coming back. But I bought a couple Detroit pans because it was like, oh, there's all this different style of pizza I've never fucked with at all. Bought a couple pans, started messing with some recipes, and it's like, hey, this is pretty good. And then I put it, I think, on my personal Instagram where I was like, does anybody want? I'll just give these pizzas away. We'll do like a couple of them, and then I got 6 more pans, so I had 8 pans. So
What were you cooking out of?
an old 1950s Wedgwood.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was a beast. And then I think at some point I had like 16 pans, and I was that before you maybe?
No, I think I came on around with the 8.
Well, Jess, my wife was cooking the pizzas, and I was like delivering them to friends and stuff. And then at some point we're like, okay, we'll start charging $20 for them, or 22 or whatever it was. We had a rotating menu for 4 pizzas usually. Joseph joined on, just was like, we have kids, and she's like, I can't be like watching the kids and cooking the pizzas while you're delivering pizza for your pipe dream. Like, what's going on? What about your friend Joseph? And I was like, okay. Then he joined on. Then it snowballed, I think at our peak. We did it for a year and a half at least at the house.
It's something like that. Almost 2 years.
Yeah, every Wednesday, every Friday, and at the peak of it, we were,
In the beginning, were we ever doing a third day?
No, I think just 2.
Okay.
But we got 50 pans, and then we were, selling out of 50 pizzas a night out of it. Ended up getting a different Wedgwood oven that had 2 ovens, because that was just one oven. You could cook 4 at a time. But we got a model that had 2 ovens instead of the broiler on the other side. Started going.
So how the hell do you make this jump?
So at some point, I was still working at Luigi's at this point.
Okay, so you didn't get laid off. You went back.
I went
after
back.
the 6 week hiatus.
Went back, continued my managerial duties. The boss got wind of it, kind of wasn't too happy, but was like, okay, I get it. At some point, it was just kind of like, man, like there's a lot of restaurants closed down. There was a lot of real estate available. And we decided, like, hey, there's no better time to look. Equipment was dirt cheap everywhere because everywhere was shutting down. So we started using the funds that we got to kind of stockpile some equipment with the hopes of opening a spot.
So sorry, did you get laid off at Nordstrom?
I worked at Nordstrom when I was like 19, right?
Okay.
And then Kevin got me he called me out of the blue and was like, I hadn't been working at Nordstrom for a while. I did a bunch of stuff, but I was working at a restaurant downtown, and he was like, hey, we need a delivery driver tonight on Friday. And I was like, I don't have a car. And he was like, you can use my car. So I came in and did dishes and delivery, and then I picked up that shift. And then I ended up working every position at Luigi's until I got into management of the North Park one that you know.
Yeah.
And then things kind of like topped out there, which is like a whole nother thing, you know?
What's that mean?
Underpaid and overworked.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, like when I got the bump to being a pizza maker, I think I went from making like 12 to 13.50. You know what I mean? It's like that's the biggest production job in the restaurant. You know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I was getting paid $35,000 a year to be an on-call manager, and I was like, wait, there's something wrong with that. You know, so I went and looked for another job, and I landed in a corporate pizza place, and that was a whole different experience than like the mom and pop thing, you know. But
Yeah.
I kind of see it as like kind of going to pizza college kind of thing, you know. There was a lot of stuff that I learned there.
What was it? Can you say what it was?
Yeah, it's called Surf Rider Pizza.
Okay. And then is that a chain here?
They were. The funny thing about that was the company that owned them, the umbrella company, got caught by the FCC for stealing a bunch of money, like $50 million.
Wasn't it like $300 million?
Oh, $250 million, but $50 million is all they recovered. So it's like people think that she just like paid it because payroll for the company was like, you know, 50 grand every 2 weeks, you know. So right when COVID hit, we were in the middle of being managed by the FCC. And then I had a really, really unkind boss who, like, because we were in the middle of that, I overordered on some paper goods, and she called and cussed me out 2 times. So I was like, fuck it. I'm in corporate pizza. I'm going to go to HR. And then guess what? I was like laid off like 2 months later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that was like March 2018, was that COVID year? 2019? Something like that. When everything stopped.
2020.
When Rudy Gobert touched all the microphones and did all that shit,
Yeah.
you know? And then, I was unemployed for something like 6 months, 4 months. And then I get a text message from Kevin's wife saying, hey, Kevin had just dropped a pizza off at my house like a couple weeks earlier, you know? And she was like, hey, would you be interested in doing this with Kevin? And I was like, sure.
Kevin, dude, why'd you have your wife hit him up?
I didn't. It was her choice, and I have to live with that choice. You know?
It was probably a good call considering where
Yeah.
we're sitting at today.
Yeah, we're happy. It's good. It's a loving relationship.
Love you, brother.
Well, not to stop because I still want to. I think it's important with these stories, especially like the pandemic stories, that kind of like there's a trajectory that maybe isn't possible now because things have calmed down, but to be able to have this idea go from like popping up in your backyard or like serving to friends and then getting into a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
But you guys just brought up some things that kind of like some shitty things that you guys had to deal with being on part of other people's teams. So like, do you think about those things and like maybe how shitty you were treated or the way you were treated, and does that affect your management style and like how you bring on team members, how you treat team members?
100%. And I just want to go on record, at least from my end. I don't think I was treated unfairly, really. I just think, I had an old school boss that was a little out of touch with the current work environment kind of thing. Well, it wasn't like abuse or anything. But yeah, definitely. As far as, especially so now we're open, we're successful, we need to make a living, but with eyeing any kind of expansion with this company, we have that very much in mind as far as moving people up and involving people to where they can actually make a living, Yeah, at the other spot, it was always like, oh, the next one, you'll be a part owner of. The next one you'll be a part owner of. And that happened a couple times before I kind of saw the writing on the wall. And this is, there's 2 of us. Our tentative plan is to, have 2 locations for us, kind of. kind of like one pizza shop a piece. And then after that, directly involve employees with profit sharing or ownership.
You find people, you take care of them. You're in the restaurant industry, and pizza especially attracts a certain individual, I think. And I think it's always like, you're here for a short time, not a long time, and like let me be a positive force in your working career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously there might be some lifers in there. The main thing when I get an employee who I really believe in, or I'm like, damn, this person is so fucking good, I think about myself. I think about you guys, like where you worked at Luigi's. I worked at this place called Tomato Pie Silver Lake, and I think I was always destined for more. But I think now being able to see that in other members of staff or employees and cultivate like, where can I give as much knowledge to this person so that when they want to get out of the nest and open up their own thing, you know what I mean, and be prepared for it. Yeah, and a lot of the people that actually would want a slice of your guys' pie, or to be like a part owner, they really probably want the barrier of entry is pretty expensive, so it'd be nice to just invest into
the authentic experience,
into your guys' stuff, but giving them the opportunity to learn everything that you guys know and be positive about their growth. You know what I mean? Because it sounds like we're not talking shit about Luigi's at all. But maybe did they facilitate like an environment where, like, how does he feel about this? Have you ever talked to him?
He's never been here.
No?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, nothing. We're at the last months of my employment there. Even though I was the manager, he wouldn't answer my calls, kind of thing. So that is what it is. But with our people, it's kind of like, I'd be lying if I said there wasn't some sort of ulterior motive where like we really want to keep the good people and give them the opportunity within the company to make like a real living. But at the same time, there's some people that are there's Juan right there in the back making pizza, picked up pizza super quick, just a natural. He's gone from, he's gotten $8 worth of raises in 2 years, something like that.
Then he started from the bottom. Our entry level's counter and dish. He went to prep. He learned ovens. He became a pizza maker.
He got a job recently at a bakery, like a kind of mom and pop bakery, but doing some really cool stuff as a second job.
It's called Wildwood Flour. They make good stuff.
Wildwood Bakery.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's awesome. Like that's something that we're trying to show encouragement there, because it's like, changes our schedule a little bit. It changes availability a little bit with him, but it's like, man, I wish I would have branched out from making 58% New York.
But you were always a heavy lifter, right? You were always a Friday, Saturday night pizza guy.
I was a company guy, but I was a company man. But I wish I had branched out and learned different stuff. So employees like going other places, learning different stuff. Also here, we're a pretty open book as far as finances and like how we do things. Where if somebody did want to start their own kind of thing, we would be a resource, I'd say.
We, just to piggyback, we definitely keep in mind that like the atmosphere of the place is like one of the most important things. You got to be able to want to show up to work. Yep. You know what I mean? And there were so many days where we knew that walking into the places we were working at was going to be such a shit show that you'd rather just fucking jump off a bridge to go to work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes you like dread going into your job because you're like, whose fucking slack am I picking up
exactly
today,
that's another thing too. It's like one of the only bennies working at Luigi's was you could drink as much as you want as long as you didn't fuck up.
Yeah.
And that gets pretty fucking old. You know what I mean? Especially when like even when people are like really exceptional at their job, when they're completely off, it just fucks up everything for everyone, I dealt with a lot of like absentee owners and management and stuff like that. And what really like makes me encourage, like motivates me here at this shop is like to take care of the staff is remembering who's doing the work. You know what I mean? Like who's making the pizzas, who's making the sauce. If we're not doing it, then like we have to take care of the people who are. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole point. The pizzas have to get made, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the people that I've worked for like forget that, you know, when they're just like showing up to pick up the deposits and stuff like that, you know?
I remembered I think it was another pizza podcast or something. I forget who said it, but it was something like, the staff is the reason I'm able to like get any time off and spend time with my kids. And I think that's what was missing. 'Cause, you know, I had feelings of guilt of leaving the company I was with for so long and all this stuff. And, you know, kind of felt like I might be leaving that shop in a bad place. And it was such a big part of my life and all that stuff. And then you know, thinking about it from a different perspective, I was like, man, I was busting my ass and working super hard so that my boss could spend time with his family. And he was pretty much gone, you know? So it was like, don't feel as bad anymore.
Yeah, or like even pursuing other interests, you know, like you with your podcast, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you got a solid team up at Hot Tongue that gives you this opportunity to pursue other things.
There's absolutely no doubt, and I'll give them all the praise. What you said is about family and like your boss not being around. I'm still around a lot, but I struggled very hard at Purgatory. I talk about it sometimes. I like basically lost 3 years of life with my fiance or my wife now, but like 3 formative years where she was walking the dogs by herself every weekend. I was not there. I'd come home, I'd knock out. I just wasn't there. You know what I mean? And then when the minute I started taking more and more time away, I started this thing. I would always feel guilty. Like you got to be the hardest working person in the room. You know, if I didn't put that 12-hour shift in, I was shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And being able to let go and realize that me not being there actually gave more people, as long as they had the right tools and you were there when they needed you, they actually got way more opportunity. And then they got to grow. And
they have the ownership over the place too. It's like our place, you know what I mean? Like, which is really nice to have a lot of people like embrace it as their place. Like you said earlier, people are here sometimes for a short period of time. But it doesn't always have to be like that. You know what I mean? Like if you have a nurturing environment and show them the whole skill set, no matter what their background is, as long as you have buy-in and they're motivated people, you know what I mean? Then it's like give them the keys, let them drive, you know?
Yeah. And I think obviously trust is like a really hard thing in the restaurant industry. And I don't know about you guys, but it kind of sounds like maybe we worked for similar personalities where maybe like there wasn't 100% trust, and that's kind of like why or maybe there's too much trust. I don't know. I giving somebody trust to really not be here, for me to come down to San Diego for the day, knowing that like the restaurant's not going to burn down, or that I can leave at 5 p.m. to go pick up my son every day and have that relationship with him. I could make a lot more money. Yeah, maybe it's going to take me a couple more years to get out of debt, but like for what? Exactly. You know, and I think a lot of restaurant owners
get the time back.
No, and it's so normalized in this industry
for sure
to fucking drive yourself.
You gotta have that dog. You gotta have that dog, or you're not gonna be successful.
Yeah, or if I'm not here, it's not the same. I just can't cash into that because I really feel like, depending on like your processes and how good you are at training, you shouldn't have to be here all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I just tasted pizza, and I was saying I wish I got to do this before every pod. And I said, Matt, maybe not, because then I might have to lie. Like, the product is good. You know what I mean? You guys didn't make every single one of those pies, right?
No. He did.
You made every one?
He worked this morning.
Even that shitty cheese that came off the peel.
That cheese was fire.
Came off the peel all funny. I had to throw out 3 slices. And,
even
the
as
crust
the boss,
was perfect.
You can make a mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an important thing to remember too.
Oh, dude, and I think that's like such a good thing for your staff to see too.
Yeah,
like,
you're human.
Like when you fuck up, like I used to have a hard time with that too. Like owning a mistake.
Mistakes are an opportunity to learn.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, especially if you open a shop. You know.
Well, what was one of the biggest mistakes you guys made here?
Biggest? What do you think, Kevin? So we hired this one. I'm just joking. We probably. What do you think?
I honestly, I think We did a lot of. We had the benefit.
Yeah.
The benefit of doing the pop up and all that stuff. So we knew pizza reasonably well, but the whole
And we've both been operators too, right?
doing it out of our house for a long time. It's like we got the Detroit pretty close to where we wanted it, but it's I basically went to pizza school. I was just like, oh, I thought I knew everything about pizza. Like, oh, the pizza I make is the best, and then I was like, wait, I'd never heard of grandma style pizza. I've never heard of thin and crispy, gluten free. My boss always said it wasn't worth it. Like all this stuff. And I really just honed in on it and made a ton of mistakes during that process and, recipe development or whatever.
I feel like, yeah, totally.
But operationally setting up here, we had a pretty good.
Perfect.
We had a pretty good.
Everything was perfect. You had the perfect opening. I mean, the space is incredible. It's on a corner here in San Diego. I don't know if you guys can tell, but we are outside, right outside of TNT. If you're listening,
Getting the authentic local experience.
yes, it's wonderful. It's beautiful out here. But like, this is like your quintessential fucking pizza shop. You got
Slice shop.
the Budweiser in here. You got the slices right at the window. Those Pizza Hut lamp situations.
Thank you,
Oh,
brother.
yeah.
Those are sick.
Yeah.
The beer's on tap.
When we got here, it wasn't turnkey. So basically, we'd saved up a bunch of shekels, and we were going around trying to find a spot to turn into a pizza spot. And real estate agents wouldn't give us the time of day. They're like, "Oh, hi, you manage pizza shops. That's cute." Somehow, we finally got a real estate agent where we were just like on Instagram. Does anyone know a real estate agent? We got a guy who specialized in restaurants. But he wasn't working for us really for a lot. He was basically like, oh, there's a pizza shop for rent. It's got all the equipment.
Was he a broker? He just like sent you properties?
I guess he
'Cause
was
you didn't
he
do
was
the-
representing the landlord here.
We
Okay.
had like a chef friend who hooked us up with this guy who had our food, and she really wanted to see us do well. That was a really cool thing about doing the pop-up. It's everything you ordered on Instagram, right? So we got to know everybody who were part of the 20 pizzas ordered, 50 pizzas ordered for that service, you know? And people really wanted that. We got lucky to be able to build a community like that. You know what I mean? And not like having to pop the doors open on a shop and like wait for it to come in. Like we got to schedule everything. We had 4 pizzas every 15 minutes, turned into 8 pizzas every 15 minutes on the order form, you know?
Yeah.
And our friend Kathleen Weiss knew this guy who represented this place, and it had been closed for like 2 or 3 years, and they weren't really trying that hard to get somebody in here, so we really lucked out. You know what I mean? And it was as turnkey could be.
It was a brand new build out. They had tried to open a pizza shop for 6 months. Didn't know how to make pizza, just closed, and the equipment was left in here. So basically, the money that we had saved up, we ended up.
I love that you have the kitchen like window right here too.
It's the nicest office I've ever had
yeah.
in a pizza shop ever. You know?
Not
You
bad
get
at
the-
all. But then, so we took everything. We have
Well, we saved like 22 grand. We didn't pay ourselves at all.
Was it a
with the-
turnkey situation though? Did you have to pay turnkey money to get in
no,
here?
no key
No.
money. Just
It was
here
just
you
ready to
go.
go.
Are you renting this equipment or?
No.
Well, technically, we don't own the pizza oven. We'd actually already bought the exact same, just Baker's Pride Y600 that we have in storage. So we were ready to put equipment in. It
Yeah.
had most of the equipment. I mean, overall, if you count the money from the that we got from the pop up plus what we personally put in, we put in under $50,000 to get open.
Incredible.
So Kevin,
And we did all the work ourselves
Yeah.
as far as the
What about the sign?
sign was there. We took it, got it
redone. The plastic was there, and we got it done by a sign company.
redone. All of the wood paneling walls were from somebody's basement in Claremont, free on Craigslist.
Chandeliers?
Those are all $25 to $75 each on Craigslist.
So is this counter already here?
Counter was there. We had the slice case was there. We had to buy an additional shelf to put more in.
Did you move in here with beer as well?
There was no walk-in, so we had two.
They had
Two-
a license though.
We opened without a license.
Okay.
Yeah, applied
Yeah.
for the license.
Kevin took his son and dropped off stuff at all the.
The 500 things you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
all the places around here.
Although tip, at least from San Diego ABC, if you're around a bunch of apartment buildings, apparently they're okay with you just posting a notice inside the.
That makes things very nice.
Yeah, that was,
Sometimes it can like cost thousands of dollars to do the mailers.
Yeah, to pay somebody to do it and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But we got off
most of the
on
money
a very limited budget.
Yeah, most of the money we spent was just on aesthetic stuff. Giving it kind of the
Lots of work.
retro.
Shout out to Jess, the wife. My wife does construction work.
Damn,
And
really?
also-
Yeah, she did all the tiling. She did like 99% of the build.
Yeah, the whole thing was government gray. We actually found a can of paint that said government gray was the color of it. So everything was just just the grayest. Just not a place you'd want to go. And also to Joseph's uncle-in-law, he did some work. He's a 70-year-old man.
Yeah, he
80-year-old
helped with a lot of electrical and some of the tiling. It's good to have family. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
wants to see you succeed.
Yeah.
The lights were a lot of fun to get. It was just driving all over Southern California on Craigslist and OfferUp and trying to get a
you
deal.
Get those all in one place?
No, every one of those is a different purchase, except for there's two that match over here. But yeah, if it's fun to open up the Craigslist app or whatever and see what you're looking for and be like, yeah, you know what I mean, and go get it. But yeah, Kevin was right about the price point. They were all really cheap, and now that we're potentially looking to open another one, it's a little tough.
You've been open for 2 years?
Uh-huh.
And we're already looking for number 2? So things are going well.
Yeah,
Very well.
we're very grateful.
How many employees you have?
Probably fluctuates a little bit between 9 and 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you what's the percentage of sales in like comparison to dine-in and delivery and
It's like it's the clean 33%.
Yeah,
pickup
everything?
And delivery. Yeah.
what area?
Well, no, it's like 60% is pickup and dine, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then the other third is like
Third
takeout and
party.
delivery.
Third-party delivery,
Yeah.
Do a bunch of that.
What area are you guys looking at expanding into?
We want to keep that hush
we can
hush.
talk
We
about
have
it.
somebody
That's sick.
who's got a friend who's gonna break the story, and we don't want to fucking step on.
Baby!
Oh my god.
We have a couple things in the pipeline. One of
Yeah.
with a very close friend that
Mhm.
involves wood-fired pizza, which we've never done. So that should be.
So wait, you're gonna flip up the concept?
Fist style.
You're
Fist
doing
style, baby.
fist style
Fist,
pizza?
Fist style?
Fist style
Yeah.
pizza. I like that. That's what
Yeah. Well, it's like we already do a bunch of styles here, but we have an opportunity for a spot.
What to have multiple ovens?
No, just wood-fired.
Yeah, that would
Smaller,
be the only thing up there.
smaller
wood fire.
thing, but
So the next location would just be wood fire.
no. Well,
We got two
these
things
Are
brewing.
these
Okay.
are concurrent.
We got two
You
things
guys are throwing
brewing.
a lot at me.
This model,
Okay.
straight and chula.
Straight and chula.
And then we have a good opportunity at this like little garden kind of thing that we can make look really pretty and do like a nighttime
And it would
wood-fired thing. And
That wouldn't be TNT, or would that be?
it would be
TNT Fire.
Exactly. TNT Fire, TNT Gardens.
TNT Fire
Yeah,
Fest.
TNT stands for
TNT
thick and
North Park.
thin,
I know. You
but
know
this-
what? In all of my research, I don't know how I missed that, but you know who told me? Mr. Matt Lyons.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Matt. He's
Thank you, Matt. You're the
been
best.
so kind
I'm
to
sitting in
us.
your chair right now.
Yeah, apparently we're sitting in old tribute chairs. So these chairs are a tribute to you, Matt.
end table.
Oh, this is
No, this is from our other.
Oh,
this
okay.
is
I'm
from
sorry.
Joe.
This table's sick.
Thank you, Joe, for
All
the
right, so you
table.
guys got a lot cooking on the back burner right now.
Yeah, it's about to get crazy.
When the opportunity strikes, you know what I mean? You gotta try and take advantage of it. We were hesitant to try and move forward with the wood-fired thing because obviously we know this and we've worked on this concept for the last like 2 years, so we're a lot more confident in just popping this open. But we're lucky to have a partner coming in with us on that one that'll bring her experience of like running a full restaurant to help us kind of adapt what we know and what she knows to make that work.
So you're bringing in a third person?
Mhm.
She knows. She's a pastry chef. She's a event coordinator, beverage program runner. Best friends with my wife. What else? She gave us this table.
She's, what was she, the area manager for Shake Shack? She's done a lot of stuff, and now she's running a restaurant up in North Park, and she also was like our in on the property, you know. And
This property?
No, that one
Okay.
that we're gonna do the wood fired one.
So that's happening.
It's looking
Unless something holds us
Yeah.
up, we've done research where it seems, you know, I've been in contact with the health department.
And it's in North Park.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, watch out, Matt.
Not close to you,
No,
Matt.
yeah,
Matt.
we're doing a different thing. than
Watch
Matt.
out,
we're
Matt.
Doing leave the guy
Different
alone.
thing, far away from you.
No, I'm just joking.
We have some questions, Matt. So we'll
There
catch
we go.
up.
There you go. Hey, he's very open about
we need
his
some
knowledge.
wood-fired pizza lessons.
Yeah.
You need a lot of wood.
That's
You're gonna need some
the
wood.
Fuel.
You're gonna need some fuel.
Don't know where to get it.
I love building a fire in my fireplace, but that's the one thing I'm most scared of is maintaining that.
That flame.
Yeah.
That is exciting and also scary. But
Yeah.
that's when you know it's good, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Another thing that we've been really lucky with is having really complementary skill sets and, you know, the burden of all the work doesn't just fall on one of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We both know how to step in there and work a Saturday night. You know what I mean? And
Do you guys have separate tasks in any way? You guys split everything together?
we do fight about everything. Yes.
Yes, that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
What's the worst part about having a partner?
I would say that's our biggest mistake to double back is, you know, just not looking at where we agree as often as we look at where we disagree. You know what I mean? Like we should see where our stuff overlaps more than where it separates, because that's where we've kind of found our music. You know what I mean? Like some of our best work has been when we're both just powering through it. You know what I mean?
I usually when there's a partner situation involved, I always ask like, what is like the hardest part? I think you just said it very kindly that it's best to concentrate on what you do agree on instead of what you don't disagree on. Is it tough to get over some hurdles sometimes? Do you guys ever fight or like have a
We got a fucking, what's it called? A business therapist?
We had,
or like a third party?
yeah.
I was going to ask like, is
we
there
did. We had like 4
Didn't
sessions
help at all.
where she basically
Didn't
told
help
us-
at all.
She did great. She told us a bunch of shit we already know, but you know sometimes you need
you gotta
someone
hear
else
it?
to say it.
Yeah.
Well, if he likes cutting the basil this way, you're both professionals, right? And you like tearing the basil. Can't he make the decision about the sauce? And you
Yeah,
make the
can he?
decision about the basil? No, the sauce is more important than the basil. Okay, our time is up.
That'll be $250.
Yeah, well, so in that conversation, that little soundbite you gave us, that she's talking about compromise, which I think is everything, right? With
Yeah.
the partnership.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing is like figuring out how to negotiate and do what's best for the business and not either of our egos. You know what I mean? Like we both have been doing this work so long that we both have real strong feelings about the work
Yeah.
from A to Z, from not stacking slices in a fucking box, you know, a presentation of the food,
Yeah.
to how we manage the staff. You know what I mean? Everything. And fortunately, coming from really similar backgrounds, like the time that I spent at Lou's, we have a lot of the same values about that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that makes working together and, negotiating and collaborating a lot easier. But sometimes we get into the weeds about, does this pizza need fucking Parmesan finishing on it or not? You know what I mean? And little things like that, you know? And sometimes you have to just take a step back and be like, does that matter as much as I'm making it matter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the time it's like, it's going to be okay. Because again, we're both reasonable dudes. If something's going wrong, we'll double back and fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if we made the wrong decision before, we'll go and correct it. You know?
Yeah, and sometimes, we go through spells where there's 2 or 3 months and we don't really disagree on anything, and then something, pretty much, and then it'll come up where, right now we're going back and forth on a couple things. It's fine.
It's the magic. It's the magic of the partnership. I wouldn't do this with anybody else, dude.
I guess it's a testament that like both of you care deeply. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably where the butting heads, like when you're just talking about like basil cutting and like the amount of oregano and sauce, or like should we have an insert in a box or not? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
those are all things that like that say I give a shit. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the harder stuff that I'm sure you guys are dealing with too, about like, but it sounds like you're on board. Like, should we open up another shop? You know, and that,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I mean, it must have gotten pretty bad if you wouldn't saw a psychiatrist.
We just wanted things to be better.
Okay.
You know,
And I think that's pretty progressive in a partnership to both agree to be like, hey, let's go try this out.
Yeah, it was real. So opening up, especially, you know, starting from scratch, it was kind of like there was a lot of stuff that we had to negotiate and try to agree on. And then the first couple months, you know, we were both working 90-hour weeks, small staff, butting heads a lot on some of the stuff that we were, you know, just negotiating. But then, you know, as time went on and we're like, okay, wait, we can actually pay ourselves. That was a big lift off our shoulders. It's like, oh, wait, we're actually making money. This butting head situation between like something pretty minuscule in a recipe or something mattered less and less, kind of.
Yeah.
I think it was also the working class. So we made like all the food when we started. We did all the prep. We did
Just
all
you
the
two.
pizza. Yeah, we tried to hire some people to help us with that work in the beginning, but then it just ended up working out that we had maybe like one pie guy with us besides us, and then everybody else was counter and dish, because we wanted to bring everybody up from that spot. You know, you do counter and dish. You do counter, you learn how to talk about the food. You do dish, you show us your work ethic. You know what I mean? And all the people, our head prep person, our good old Wano, who made the whole ladder climb up to pizza making, they earned these opportunities. You know what I mean? Which feels really good that we just didn't bring somebody in and pay them more than everybody else
Yep.
to take a gamble on whether or not they're going to do the fucking work.
Yeah.
You know? Which is a bummer when you do that. You know, at other places, bigger operations, you just got to do that because you need bodies in those positions, you know? But with both of us here, always willing to work more, we're
guess
given the luxury of...
You just nailed it on the head. You don't really have to, but it's the fact that you guys are willing to put in the work to hire people and develop them, because it is, I think everyone usually agrees when we have this conversation that hiring the pizza maker that's been doing it for 10 years and comes in is like,
All the
I've
bad
worked at all the places.
Yeah, and I
it's
know
like,
better than
yeah,
you.
And that's
Oh
what
my
you're,
God,
and that's
the
and
prima
that's-
donna,
Yeah,
dude.
and that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get somebody that maybe can shell faster than you, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be slapping out pies on a Friday night like it's no big deal. But that attitude and that their willingness to invest maybe in like your culture and like what you guys are doing here is a lot less.
Totally. Their buy-in is like, they know they're
Their
going to get
wage.
another. They're good enough. Exactly.
they
They
can
know
go
they're good
anywhere.
enough. They'll be able to go to Prince Street when it opens and make
Yeah.
$25 an hour or whatever when that shit started, you know?
That's good leeway right into the Prince Street conversation. But what I want to ask before we get over this one is, who is the fun boss and who is the scary boss?
Oh, I'm definitely the scary boss.
Okay, here's the thing. Joseph brings everyone fucking burritos and shit.
Nice.
I got to buy him back.
You gotta
know
buy 'em
what I
back.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like the flour.
Nice.
So,
That's-
Joseph comes to the pizza
no.
shop and he's
They
like,
love me.
well, I got y'all burritos. Everything looks great here. See you later. And then,
you guys didn't see Joseph's face. He gave him a little squint.
no,
Yeah.
he's, you're the more feared boss.
You get angrier, though. You're the one growling in the kitchen and shit.
Slamming dishes and shit.
And neither of us do that anymore. But I guess I'm the one who gives more feedback.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Is it constructive or is it
It's always
is it like in the
constructive.
moment?
No,
like,
I
why'd
never
you
flip
fucking
out.
burn the
never,
pizza?
Ever. I had a mentor like that. I fucking love him. Matt DeJisu. has a shop in New Rochelle called La Rosa.
Yeah.
And he was both of our boss. He was the area manager for Luigi's before Kevin was.
He actually took my job.
Oh my God. And he gave me my first shot at making pizza, and really was a great mentor. But, you know, sometimes people just get angrier than they need to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's all great. The food's great, dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, no reason to get all bent, you know?
Joseph is he's more like, I'm going to watch how you do it and tell you what needs to change. Joseph's accused me at times of training by osmosis, where he just expects people to, like, I expect people to watch how I do something and pick it up, which to an extent is true. We just have different styles.
I mean, it's important to set an example of how to do the job.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We both do that for sure. I guess, you know, I guess I'm a piece of shit. So I'm just
Joseph, I think I pick and choose a little bit more where to offer input if something's very important.
if it's not, yeah, exactly. If it's not a danger to the people or the product, then it can wait till the end of the shift to give feedback. You know what I mean? But if somebody's like trying to burn a slice and then serve it, you gotta stop them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if they're not having a great day, you know what I mean? You gotta be like, hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? Or,
That is like what you just explained, though, is maybe the toughest part about being an owner and operator.
Yeah,
to be calm in those situations. Like, no one got a therapy degree, or like no one ever told any of us how to speak to people correctly. And when you're banging out your Friday night and like you see something like that, and there's already been another mistake and a complaint, and like you're kind of already on tilt, it's really hard to stay in that, like, it's even sometimes hard to, like, for me at least, or I've gotten better because I usually just try to stay away from those shifts now, is to be able to know when to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, why are we burning slices? Make sure it's at 2 minutes or whatever your cook time is at. Hey, the oven got turned up to 650.
yeah, let's figure out why this is
did you not
happening.
see that?
Yeah.
But to do that correctly, and then even really just knowing, I don't need to have this conversation about the service that was just given at the end of the shift. I'll have it.
Yeah.
That's
And then-
all a huge piece of talent, though, to have that.
Yeah.
It's really hard to want to double back like that too. You know what I mean? At the end of the service and you're done cleaning, you don't want to go back and be like, hey, this thing happened. What's up? What was your perspective on it? You know what I mean?
I think that that's so important to give the space, and then to bring it up, because it's easy to hold it in as an owner if you don't. I think then you build up a little bit of resentment when it happens again, and at least you can have that conversation at the end, like, yo, like,
Yeah.
I saw, you know, you're supposed to top the PC like this. It wasn't that big deal in the moment because we were just slapping out the 20 pie order or whatever. But like, hey, make sure like you stick to the whatever's on the wall.
For me, the only thing, you know, because I make mistakes all the time. I fucked up the pizza you ate. I burn pizzas. Everybody burns pizzas. If it's, you know, correctable in the moment in a nice way, it's usually like, oh, hey, that's a little too crispy. Can you grab them a new slice? You know, just keep an eye on that. No big deal. The only time I kind of lose my cool a little bit, if there's a bunch of mistakes in a row, but it's, you know, I've been back here where it's like, because everyone's like, oh, we got to have a good work environment, but it'll be like 4 burnt pizzas in an hour, but everybody's still talking about fucking Seinfeld or something. I'm like, okay, just drop the fucking Seinfeld. It doesn't matter what's on the radio.
Yeah.
Or I don't say it like that.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's like, dude, stop changing the song.
Yeah,
on
like
Pandora.
mistakes. Make a dumb mistake, forget a pizza, no big deal. If it's something where it's, you know, just too focused on stuff that has nothing to do with the operation and mistakes result from that, I get a little testy.
I always say, and this might sound like an asshole thing, but I always say, like, everyone should be able to have like fun in the job and at the job if you're doing your job.
Yeah.
Like, and
Hell
that you
yeah.
maintain fun.
It's a fun job.
Yeah, it's a fun ass job as long as you're doing your job. But the minute like it's a Seinfeld conversation, like you keep like switching the song on the iPhone, and there's been 4 mistakes, and all of a sudden like you're on the iPad. Somebody walks in and they give you a 2-star review. Like,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
Have you ever had an employee who, say, can't have a conversation while working at the same time?
Yes.
So that's my big pet peeve. Because I'm
course.
like, oh, everybody talks and has fun at work and talk, but I'm just like, if somebody comes up to me, it's just like, hey, so this and that, dude.
Your eyes are so blue.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's like at that point, not only are you not doing your job, you're distracting somebody else from doing their job.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm, occasionally that happens.
And we're really lucky too. I feel like in pizza, especially with like high volume pizza, most of the mistakes happen when you're slow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree.
We haven't, the slow shifts, we're generally here doing a lot of the heavy, or we used to be, you know what I mean? And, and we're just not slow enough for people to like for things to snowball out of control, like not saying like we're going crazy business wise, but you know what I mean? Like those $200 lunches, where
I 100% agree. It's always like dumb shit happens when it's slow. Somebody doesn't get taken care of. Somebody forgets, the cider ranch. Somebody didn't put the Olipop in the fucking the bag for the Postmates.
When you're on your 3-minute rotation, when you're like boom, 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 I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna make mistakes because that's all you're fucking thinking about is keeping up.
Back to Prince Street.
P Street.
P Street Pizza, made famous from a little state. The state of New York. A lot of pizza heads out there. I don't know if the listeners have heard about this place, New York City, but they are transplant. They came to Los Angeles first. I think there's 3 locations in LA County. They just opened up down the street, right?
Mm-hmm. 10 blocks.
And were you guys anticipating this? Were you a little scared? Is there any other pizzerias around here?
There are, but they're
maybe not as revered.
We're reasonably close to Luigi's, and there's good pizza there.
But that's like old school. Sorry, it's like they haven't changed their dough formula in 15 years or whatever. Prince Street is like doing 3 different styles. Like they're a lot more similar to our model, than something like Lou's. It's like apples and oranges,
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think the week they opened up, we were like, oh man, what if our business we'll lose a quarter of the business, and it just never happened. It was we kept trucking. We're still new enough that, it's not like it's going up and up and up. Actually, our summer was pretty level compared to the early months of this year. But yeah, it's been fine as far as competition with them.
There was like a buzz for maybe like 4 or 6 months before they opened.
They had the PR companies and all that stuff for sure.
Well, what they're selling is like that East Coast flavor and I'm not gonna deny the fact that those I've never had it. Pizzas look great. I'm not the biggest fan of like other restaurants coming to Los Angeles and opening up because that's like I think what makes a restaurant like really special is the stamp
Local
that they have
boys.
on their city. And everyone's really excited about Scars opening up in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
They're opening up like I think around Melrose area, and you get all this hype and all this love, but it's like I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel like there's so many other smaller pizzerias that are like putting their lifeblood into what they're doing that deserve just as much of that buzz as a place like that gets or a Prince Street gets. But I think that like it's a testament that you didn't really see a dip in sales because I think a lot of people want to support like a San Diegan like restaurant that's from here. Did I say that right? San Diegan?
Yeah. Through the pop-up or through starting in the house and us just like staying true to how we want to do it. I think we built like a really loyal community around the shop to where it's like none of our regulars were going to go to Prince Street. You know what I mean? What we were scared of is the tourists being in San Diego. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them getting all the runoff from baseball games and shit like that, And, again, that never really
Side
affected
note, did
us.
I ever run this idea by you? Okay, so Prince Street has a New York water maker, you know? It's like a $40,000 machine.
That's a gimmick,
Yeah,
dude.
but it's like very prominently displayed. Like I think they have a sign with like an arrow that says New York water maker,
Yeah.
kind of shit. But I was thinking, what if we took like a clear pipe out of the wall and then just had it like running like this and fill it with a bunch of dirty water?
You're like Balboa Park water stream. Like that's funny as fuck.
San Diego River runoff.
Yes, yeah.
I was thinking Detroit water maker because I was like, I figured Detroit doesn't have good water, but they probably do.
And we don't do, you know, like your classic Detroit style and stuff like that. So we were fucking around in the beginning of saying we do San Diego style, like with all of our stuff, you know, because Kevin really did, you know, open the textbooks when it came to figuring out our dough formulas when we started this. We thought when we opened this one, since we only did Detroit out of the house, we thought since we'll do New York as well, it'll just be cut and paste what we know. And Kevin was like, no. We're going to put more love and work into this, you know. And he really set us down a great path to have like an exceptional product instead of like an okay product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What I love about this concept is I think I saw Kelly Bone like posted about one of the slices here, and what I love about this concept and probably where I see Hot Tongue going is what I did at Purgatory, which was really you're doing every style of pizza, whether it be vegan or it has Ezzo pepperoni or whatever the fuck you're putting on it, but you're doing it at such a high level. Because I had your cheese slice, and although it didn't look the greatest because we lost the tip. We lost the tip, right? And you didn't want to serve it to me. It was exceptional. It was perfect in every way. Light, crispy, bottom. It was wonderful. And then I had the vegan square with dill and pickle on it. What was that, ranch on top?
Yeah, that's our
vegan
pickle
ranch.
pie.
Unbelievable. And having those back to back, I just started eating cheese. You wouldn't even have known.
Hey, brother.
But not a lot of people do that. Not a lot of people can do that. And that's where like it makes it so accessible. You know what I mean?
Those people weren't going to be going to Prince Street.
Hell
You know
no.
what I mean? Like
no, there's no vegan shit there. Like
Yeah.
what I don't like about Prince Street is there's this kind of like fuck, like don't ask for ranch or ketchup or blah
Yeah,
blah.
New York
like,
attitude
Yeah, it's like
on the side.
this is a place where, dude, come in even if you don't have shoes on and like.
If
You know what I mean? And get
if
a
you
slice.
want some
if
of the
you-
best pizza
yeah,
you'll have,
Yeah.
we got it.
And
And if we're hiring, you got a job.
Oh,
Exactly.
my God.
but I'm just saying there's a lot of magic in that. You can see it in your slice display. You're doing high tier shit at all levels. You know what I mean?
Thank you so
and
much.
that's like
Appreciate
it's also a big piece of the pie to bite off, because a lot of people try to do it, but like it's like maybe they're
just bring Daya
they're
in and throw it
gluten free
on.
suck or or they
Yeah.
just throw Daya on the pie that they make. Like you can just look at that pickle pie and be like, fuck, dude, these dudes are putting in work.
It's fun. It's fun learning. We just started doing a tavern style recently, and you know it's selling all right. We don't have representation for it in the case because it's just cut in squares.
You want it fresh too.
But that was a
right?
lot of fun to do the research and development on. And
Are you
still-
par baking the crust?
We're-
Not par baking it. We're actually Matt from Tribute told us about a trick because we were making super low hydration dough, a little bit of cornmeal in there. We had a sheeter that came with the place when we got in here. We're like, sheeter, what do we do with this? Loaned it to my friend for a while. And then looking into tavern style, I was like, oh, the sheeter could come in handy. Got it back, sheeted them, and then we dry them out in the walk-in, just on screen. So
Cure them. Yeah.
So we cure them for 24 hours, 24 to 36 hours before they're ready to go.
Wait.
I'll show you
Open?
after the
Yeah, they just stay open.
yeah
air,
sitting open
so they
on
dry out a
screens
little
on
bit?
a rack. Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Makes it like a real cracker.
Yeah.
Because it's hard if I think ours is 58% hydration, all-purpose flour. So
Is your Sicilian dough different than your pizza dough?
No,
same.
the grandma's the same.
New York.
And then I read.
It's different in as far as like we take it out
Of course.
and stretch it in the morning and it
Proofing it
proofs
much
for like
differently,
8 hours.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And are you doing a sourdough pizza or sourdough mix?
The Detroit has sourdough in it, but it's spiked with some ADY.
Okay. And then I read that you're using organic flour.
Not no more.
No.
You can break that story too.
Said, yeah.
No, we were doing
That's
Central Milling,
that's
and now we
fucking
do
funny,
King
Yeah.
Arthur.
Okay.
So it's still not bromated, but it's not organic.
And that was so. We're actually getting a better result now with King Arthur, but we were always doing a mixture of high gluten and all-purpose flour. So New York would be more high gluten and a little bit of all-purpose.
So we're using High Mountain and ABC flour
from
from Central Milling.
High Mountain. What's the Beehive?
Beehive.
Yeah.
High Mountain and Beehive
AP.
mixed. At some point, they had a shortage, and the price on the bag of that spiked up to like $50.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody this morning about flour prices going up almost 30%, and he just moved everything to King Arthur. And you know what? Using those organic Central Milling bags, like it's tougher to get. You switch it out for a King Arthur, and like your instant, like your crumb, your formation, your structure.
Yeah.
It's tougher flour to use.
We were getting. We were happy with the Central Milling. It was just.
$50.
And we didn't want to, as far as $50 a bag, it's kind of like if you extrapolate that over a whole batch of dough, and it's like whatever 13-15 cents more per pizza or something. It's like we didn't want to make any shortcuts in that regard, but it was kind of a like, well, why don't we try something else and see how it is? And then pretty quickly, with minor adjustments to some of the recipes, it was like, I like this better, and these are $22 a bag. So
Yeah. Much cheaper than 50.
yes.
Yeah.
What kind of pepperoni you guys use?
Man,
So
That is the go-to these
the only
days.
way to go.
pretty good.
What was it? Was there anything that inspired your vegan menu, or like the reason you went so hard on?
My wife.
Yeah, is your wife vegan?
Yep.
Okay.
Like since she was like 14 or something like that, like 24 years, 23 years. She there's so many times we would go to a pizza shop, and the only vegan offering would be some shitty take on a margarita that would just have tomatoes and basil and daya on it, And when we were doing the pop-up out of the house, we figured out that we could do everything. We would do 4 pizzas every menu, 2 were rotating, and we were just like, we could do all this vegan. And then once we got into the shop, we were like, we can do all this vegan. And every time we have added a pizza to the menu, it's been a big thing for us to do our best to make a vegan parallel. You know what I mean? And I think we've been successful in that so far.
Yeah. What vegan pepperoni do you use?
We make it.
You make your guys. Fuck, dude. All right, you guys are putting in work.
Yeah.
You're not a fan?
No. I think our vegan pepperoni I do like a lot. It's just that's one of the labor intensive.
Yeah, because you're making seitan. You guys rolling it up in foil
Exactly.
and shit.
Seitan,
Everything takes-
tamale, making it like a tamale, hand slicing it. It's everybody's least favorite job here, I'd say.
It's
Yeah.
true.
For sure.
So
Tried the
good
Robo
work-
Coop with it.
Good work's
didn't
hard
work out.
sometimes.
Have you tried Beehive?
I did like Beehive. I thought it was good. We got a sample. Didn't really look into it further with pricing.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it is
expensive.
pretty
It's expensive.
pricey.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
And we've gotten really good reviews on our
I
vegan
bet. I
pepperoni,
bet.
so
Who
it's
came
like
up with that recipe?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you do your research online, and you do just like with everything here in the shop, you tinker. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no
And
doubt.
when things are coming out wrong, you don't lose your shit. You just say, how did this go wrong? And so for a while we were over mixing it so that it was brittle when you cut it,
Yeah.
and you just keep trying to do it the way you want to do it until
Yeah.
it starts coming out the way you want every time,
Do you guys make vegan sausage here too?
We do.
Yeah.
Is it-
TVP.
TVP.
Mhm.
You just seasoning that?
Yep,
Yeah. So that's a little easier.
a lot.
Okay.
Right, and we use soy curls for our fake chicken,
Nice.
so I mean,
Man, this is fucking
we
hot on this block.
shout out
dude.
to
San Diego's finest.
This is
Butler soy curls.
so this
great
is
product.
a super low income housing
Okay.
here, and there's we get our share of police and Not to say anything about the low income. That has nothing to
Yeah,
do with
no,
it.
it's
Let's just say
it's forever housing for people who have like disabilities or will never work again. You know, they're like shoe boxes, right? But there's always something going on down here because it is East Village. Our Skid Row is 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you drove by when you're getting off the
I
freeway,
did.
but it's pretty brutal. You
Yeah.
know? Just like every major city in the United States.
Of course.
But yeah,
We have
this
Narcan.
is actually like a ghost town when we opened up in like 2021. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not to say there wasn't anything down here, but like the walkability has really gone up since then. You know?
Well, that's great for you guys.
Yeah, thank God. We were never downtown people before we opened this shop. We had no idea how many like young people or potential customers
Yeah.
lived in these apartments and condos around here, you know?
Yeah.
I think about it pretty often though. Like I like being around the hustle and bustle and all different walks of life and just the wild stuff downtown. It feels, neighborhood pizza shops are cool too. We'd love to be in a cool neighborhood
Little
too.
residential nook.
Yeah, but it just feels real, I don't
We're
know.
downtown guys now, you know?
Where do you guys live?
We live about 10 minutes east of
Okay.
here.
Not
so it's
bad. Not far.
Yeah, relatively close.
Yeah.
Well, TNT's kind of got like a bit of a rock and roll vibe. I think it fits in with the neighborhood.
Yeah, I wanted to open a jazz place.
A jazz themed pizza shop.
Yeah, because everybody's got the Pizzeria Luigi is all rock and roll and skateboarding, which is kind of who we are, sort of.
I think that's like essentially. Well, wait 1 sec.
Yeah, there's a lot of punk rock pizza shops who like co-op the culture, you know what I mean? And
That's even though we're into all that stuff, I wanted to just do jazz.
I mean, it could still be a jazz spot. I mean, with those chandeliers, you throw on some fucking.
oh my god.
I just think there's something about pizza that like has always attracted skateboarding, musicians, creatives, but I don't know. I think it's the flexibility of the job. At least that's what I have felt since like I was delivering pizzas at 23. It was always a place that you could go into. You could work hard. You could grab shifts. You could go dip on tour or whatever, and then come back and still have a job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's a cool, once you get on the line and you get to make pizza, once you get good, after that, when you become good at the work,
Yeah.
it's a really cool form of like expression that's really accessible for like working class, line cooks and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you can, once you stretch the dough, put the sausage cheese, and then cooked it all yourself, and then it comes out, and you're like, this fucking beautiful pizza is about to feed 4 people. I don't know. It's like a cool feeling that you can like take pride in that I didn't find anywhere else in the food industry that I worked there. Most other jobs. We mentioned Nordstrom's. I never felt as slimy as doing sales at fucking Nordstrom's,
Sales is tough though, like, cause you're selling yourself, and I don't know. I mean, I guess pizza, you're still selling pizza.
Nah, it sells itself.
Yeah. A nice bag will sell itself. He'll tell you what.
I'll
My
tell you
wife
what.
will look at a bag and be like, "I'll take that one," and I say, "No, we won't."
So, yeah, some of the easiest, best sales were the easy ones where somebody would just walk in and be like, "Can I get this $3,000 purse?"
I'll
and
take
I
the
was just the
Dior,
person
the
standing at the
Gucci
fucking
bag.
register. Yeah, exactly.
Can I get that Gucci bag and the Dior, Christian Dior?
Yeah, that shit was booty. It feels a lot better to do this. Even when I got laid off, there was like I had to decide if I wanted to get back into food and stuff, or like go work at Costco. And I'm really lucky that Jess reached out to me, and then we were able to build this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just find it like really rewarding. Like it's really fucking awesome work to do. Like
Yeah.
it's not the DMV. People don't come in here in a bad attitude. All we got to do is do what we do, and they're going to leave happier than when they came. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
If you're doing it with your whole heart, and you guys seem to really, I mean, you can taste in your product that you believe in what you're doing. There's like, it's all top notch here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up there because that was beautiful.
Oh my
That was
God.
beautiful. But I gotta ask the most important question of the pod. You guys ready?
I know his answer. Can I answer?
Oh
for
shit,
him?
there's only one answer.
What is the greatest band or artist of all time? I'll start with you, Kevin.
Okay, here's the thing. I think I listened to you talking to Roy from Donna Jean the other day, and I was joking in my head before I was like, I'm going to say Soundgarden just as a joke. And then he said something about Soundgarden, and I was like, what? And I like Soundgarden, that's fine. But to me, there's only one answer, and that's Robert Pollard and Guided by Voices.
Very nice pick. Very good selection.
Over, going on 120 albums, hella consistent. It's got the 4 Ps, he calls it. He calls it power pop, but pop, punk, psych, which starts with a P and not an S, and prog. He's got all 4 of those in there. All the side projects are great. I can't think, unless you're talking jazz and you're going to say like Sun Ra, or if you're like some Frank Zappa freak.
Jesus
I don't see
Christ,
another.
take it easy.
I just don't see another answer. I don't know. I like Frank Zappa.
I love it, dude. I love it. There's not really like one answer, so I liked that there was multiple.
So Pollard, Boston Spaceship, Circus Devils, Guided by Voices, The Moping Swans, The Keane Brothers, Howling Wolf Orchestra. I could go on.
You like music.
I do. I like music a lot.
Soundgarden rocks, dude.
Soundgarden does.
So your real answer was Soundgarden.
Yeah, there you go.
Soundgarden are sick. I just bought a fucking.
Don't get
I
this.
bought the Gretsch guitar that Chris Cornell uses in the Black Hole Sun video. It's fucking sick.
Wash away the rain. All right,
hit this
you're
out.
up.
You can say the same thing, dude.
Corn? I'm just joking.
Corn's fucking sick.
Dude, talk about good work music. Corn's great.
If you want to know any of our passwords here, it's corn suck. Cause
what are you doing?
what? Like our bank
Like with
account.
a K? Or
Yeah, with a K.
Is there any numbers?
In high school, my
Is
best
there any number
Is there any
or
numbers?
symbols?
Yeah.
Just-
my best friend, usually a 1 or a 619. My best.
Wonder 619. Corn sucks.
I don't know,
619.
Just to be a nerd, I guess I would say best of all time or my favorite. I've been listening. I don't know. I always got to go back to the Velvet Underground.
Oh,
you know what
okay.
I mean?
Great.
Local boy loves the Beach Boys and stuff like Prince and stuff. Can't just say one thing, but the Brian Wilson, Lou Reed, Prince.
Prince is a good
Some
one.
of the
Yeah,
best.
these were great answers.
All
Yeah.
great music. Nice to calm out, like zen out, make pizza, to all that stuff.
Maybe I should start asking this new question. What's your favorite thing to blast in the shop?
Oh my God. Well, when we opened, I played a lot of AC/DC.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
TNT on repeat. We did a slice day, $1 slices to introduce ourselves to the neighborhood.
We played TNT on repeat.
How
the
did
entire
that go?
time.
9 hours.
How fucking gnarly was
People
that?
still come in and say, "When's it $1 slice day?"
And you
We're
say,
like,
"Never
"Motherfucker."
again."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like to play Permissive Rot. Shout out to Brian Carver. I just joined his band. They're called Permissive Rot. It rules. Available on Spotify.
No, music's cool. It's definitely always been a thing with us. Kevin's shown me so much cool shit, like working together. He has a prolific record collection. Like, I'm talking like tens of thousands of dollars worth of records. And he like introduced me to the Replacements.
Great band.
And like a bunch of stuff that I ended up like pursuing myself, that I don't know if I would have ever exposed myself to without, you showing me.
You're listening to the record Flies on Sherbert?
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
I was gonna wear my Big Star shirt, dude. I didn't
Yeah.
want to look like too much of a cool guy, but
That
I
would've
had
been
my
pretty
Big
cool.
Star shirt on this morning, and then my son spit on it, and I didn't get to wear it. to
Alex
look like
Chilton.
Alex Chilton is
Yeah,
is
I
lit.
would say
Top 10 songwriter
If
for
I could
me.
put a fourth person in that fucking Mount Rushmore, I would say Alex Chilton because I fucking love Alex Chilton.
Yeah.
I went through a whole phase where I was like, this is the best.
He was
guitar.
writing songs that sounded like he was super drunk at the time, so it was all like the sloppy flies on Sherbert box
my
bottom kind of
God.
I
shit.
loved it.
Blam, blam. Hey, little child.
High Life. Remember that song, High Life?
Oh my God, you're so sweet.
One time, we played a show. We covered that whole album and we drank 2 bottles of H&H.
You gotta do it.
And then performed the album live.
Oh,
and
H&H.
it was
Fuck
a
yeah.
shit show.
Talk about your 20s, man. Ancient.
Oh no, this was
Bring
last
it
week.
back.
No, yeah, it was definitely my
Do you remember
20s. Yeah.
a band that we used to be in called Viper Squad together?
Yeah.
There was a
sounds
lyric
sick.
called, what was it? It was like, an empty bottle of ancient age is the only way I wanna rage. Go.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah. I
The
can,
High Life and Ancient
H&H.
Age.
Yeah,
Pair them up. Forget everything else.
I can taste it. Just thinking about, I can see what the bottle looked like. I got strangled that night. Anyways, it was a good one. Is there anything I
was.
missed?
No,
Anything you
man.
guys wanted to say that before we wrap this thing up? Any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to our whole staff. We love y'all so much. Without y'all, we wouldn't be able to do this, like at all. Shout out to our wives. Again, without y'all, we wouldn't be able to do this. And shout out to you, Kevo. Love you.
Love you too.
Oh my God.
All of Joseph's shout outs, I just want to say, fuck the health department. Sanitizer does not need to be used. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Big sanitizer is a problem. Do
Parking
you
enforcement,
sanitize?
downtown
Do you
San Diego.
sanitize your dishes at home? And then they don't let you dry them with a rag? Like, it's fucking bullshit. And then they use the sanitizer product that makes stuff dry a little bit quicker, and then you have to buy their test strips. We're not into it. We sanitize everything, though.
Fuck big sanitizer.
Fuck big
Use
sanitizer.
Dawn, baby.
Dawn, baby.
Dawn for life.
If it can clean the little oily ducks, dude, it can
And
clean
it can
our
clean
dishes,
a dish,
dude.
and then you rinse
Yeah.
it, and that's it. I don't want no sanitizer on my goddamn
You can
dish.
taste it.
No doubt, no doubt.
But yeah, thank you, Alex.
I appreciate you guys giving me the time. I do want to ask, where should the people go to bug you or ask you about your delights or hit you up? Where's the
Website
best way to
coming
find you guys?
soon, but Instagram is where you can see our whole fucking story
'Kay.
from back when we were doing the pop-up. We still have our menus and stuff up on there, and it's cute to see people liking stuff from 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yep. Been open 2 years. Website coming. ETA 2025.
Somebody's got to write the catering blurb, and then it'll be done,
Yeah.
brother.
You guys have great branding, by the way. Who did
Yes,
it?
huge shout out. Thank God you said something. Our buddies Dusty and Taylor at Mortis Studios. We have a couple of pizzas for brains. Anything that looks cool about what we do, the colors, the logo, it's all been them. And they're good friends of ours. You know, when we were doing the pop-up out of the house, they were doing the menu every week. You know what I mean? Just hand doing the menu. And again, that's like the community fucking
They're
propping
big
us
time
up.
too now, you know?
They really are. They work with.
They did a turnstile video, I think. They work for Fender and Patagonia and
Yeah.
shit. Good job, boys.
Yeah, they're doing great work. The branding here is great. The color is it's fantastic.
Yeah, they asked us. They gave us a bunch of models, and we were like, "Let's go with the yellow and red one." And they're like, "No, we're gonna go with the pink and yellow one."
It's beautiful.
You know?
It's beautiful, and the name is incredible.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, boys.
And Dan, yeah,
Thank
that
you
was
for your
great.
time.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for considering us.
AC/DC forever.
Back in black.
Yeah.
Soundgarden, we're out.
Boom.
Dude, thank you, dudes.
I wanna know